The history of American industry is defined by its rivals. Disston is widely known as the king of American saws, the name synonymous with industrial quality. But for nearly a century, there was only one name that genuinely threatened their empire: E.C. Atkins. This catalog is the definitive playbook that they used to challenge Disston's empire. To understand this fully, we must move past the simple history and examine the evidence. What exact superior features did this catalog prove that allowed Atkins to build a saw that was arguably better than Disston's? The entire foundation of this rivalry was built on a single, uncompromising claim: material superiority. Atkins called their blade silver steel, and they made an unprecedented guarantee. This steel, they claimed, was made from virgin ore and a special formula, guaranteed to be equal to the finest razor steel. This was a technical promise backed by a closely guarded industrial process. That process was gas tempering. While other companies used older heating methods that relied entirely on the subjective judgment of the craftsman, essentially guesswork, Atkins completely eliminated that human variable. They controlled the tempering with precise mechanical devices. This consistency guaranteed a blade that was hard and tough without being brittle, eliminating all the uncertainty of the past. This absolute, repeatable quality was Atkins' first and most effective weapon against the legacy of Disston. Atkins didn't stop with the steel. They applied this same scientific rigor to the entire blade. The catalog calls this the taper to the center grind. While other companies taper the blade only from the cutting edge up to the back, Atkins created a blade that was thickest in the dead center. The steel then gradually tapers down in both directions, toward the cutting teeth and toward the back. This revolutionary method ensures a blade with maximum strength and stiffness where it counts, preventing the chattering and vibration that plagued competitors' saws. But that was only their opening move. What they did next with their customer service policy is something no modern company would ever attempt. Atkins' confidence in their silver steel led to a quality control policy that is almost unimaginable today. If you had a problem with the saw, the catalog states, dealers are not authorized to adjust complaints or make replacements. You could not take it back to the store. Instead, you were required to send the saw directly back to the factory in Indianapolis for inspection and adjustment. Think about the industrial audacity required for a company to completely cut out its retail partners just to protect its reputation. This catalog is evidence of an obsession with perfection that is simply extinct in modern manufacturing. And that obsession wasn't limited to their own products. Atkins actually used their catalog to openly expose a cheap design shortcut that other saw companies were using. This obsession extended to exposing competitor flaws. Atkins directly attacked the marketplace, accusing rivals of a thin backsaw scam. They claimed competitors' saws were merely dubbed off thinner at the back instead of using proper taper grinding. This cheap shortcut leads to buckling and binding. Atkins positioned their blade as a precisely ground inverted wedge, guaranteeing clearance without reliance on excessive tooth set. This speaks not only to quality, but to an intellectual honesty that was a clear and present threat to every other saw manufacturer. The company's commitment to the scientific method was so intense that they demanded the same precision from the user. The catalog dedicates pages to instructing saw owners to use a file and straight edge to joint the teeth, ensuring every tooth is an exact uniform size and height before any sharpening or setting begins. They emphasize that any unevenness in the tooth line, whether from the factory or from subsequent filings, is an error in science, resulting in a saw that cuts on only a few points. In their minds, this was the difference between an instrument of precision and a piece of crude metal. But it wasn't just about the quality of the steel and the grind. Atkins believed that the handles on other saws were fundamentally flawed, and so they engineered a solution that promised to save your wrist. The rivalry wasn't just about the steel. It was about the efficiency of the human operator. Atkins declared a war on wrist strain with their perfection handle. The catalog dedicates a full page to showing how competitors' handles forced an awkward wrist angle that required the operator to exert a downward pressure. The perfection handle was geometrically corrected. It shifted the point of greatest energy immediately upon the cutting teeth, making every ounce of pressure count, and eliminating the need for undue wrist strain. The catalog details that this superior geometry meant the saw only required a minimal tooth set of 3 to 5 thousandths of an inch. This level of precision is an indicator of the saw's straightness and quality. It proves that true clearance doesn't rely on excessive bending, but on superior grinding and engineering. This obsession with quality even extended to the fasteners. Atkins refused to use the cheap iron screws common in the industry. Instead, they relied on solid brass nickel-plated screws with a special slotted nut on the back, ensuring the handle couldn't come loose and would never strip. It was this refusal to compromise on the smallest details that defined the company's commitment to perfection. And if you thought they only made hand tools, wait until you see the evidence of their massive industrial power that shows just how seriously Disston had to take them. Finally, this catalog confirms the immense industrial reach of the company. While the handsaw was their calling card, Atkins also manufactured enormous circular and bandsaws used by the logging giants of the era. This history proves their expertise was not limited to small hand tools, but spanned the entirety of high-stakes industrial woodcutting. Ultimately, the message of this Saw Sense catalog isn't just about steel and handles. It's about the relationship between the worker and their tool. Atkins elevated the saw from a consumable commodity to a scientific instrument, a partner that demanded respect, maintenance, and intelligence from its owner. This document is a blueprint for industrial pride, proving that the highest quality is achieved not through brute force marketing, but through the obsessive pursuit of perfect, repeatable engineering. So, after reviewing all the evidence, the secret steel, the factory ultimatum, and the design fixes, we can now answer the core question of this video. Did Atkins earn the title of Disston's toughest competitor? The evidence in this Saw Sense catalog, the silver steel guarantee, the radical factory direct quality control, the exposure of industrial shortcuts, and the revolutionary ergonomic design provides a resounding answer. This was not a marginal competitor. This was a company that built its entire business model on proving Disston was complacent. They show us that the greatest engineering secrets of the past were found not in complexity, but in the uncompromising scientific pursuit of material perfection. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the world of vintage tool history. If you appreciate the history and the uncompromising quality documented in these old catalogs, please consider subscribing. It is the best way to support the continued preservation of these forgotten stories. And let me know in the comments if there's another vintage catalog that you would like to see.